What is up, everyone? Crunchy Frog here. And lately, it seems really hard for me to pick up and play COD. As a matter of fact, a lot of the gameplay that you're seeing in this video, I had to kind of dig through my files and find old gameplay that I just haven't used in any videos because I haven't even played in a few weeks to get new gameplay. So I'm not even sure what you guys will be watching because it's just been so hard for me to pick up and play. And part of that is because I have so many games I'm working on that I have my attention otherwise. But for a while I've been trying to put my finger on what exactly was preventing me from playing the franchise that I've loved for over 15 years. Now, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Modern Warfare 3 a bad game? No, actually, I quite enjoy the game from just a general, overview standpoint. I think it's fun. I think I love the gun mechanics, everything like that. I talked about that in my review. I enjoy Modern Warfare 3 on a base level. So the next question is it skill-based matchmaking? Is that what's keeping me out? Obviously, I made an hour-long video about how terrible that system is. And yeah, but to be honest, at this point, I've dealt with it for over 4 years, and while it's extremely frustrating and it definitely can ruin the experience from time to time, I can't really say definitively that it's the main reason why I don't play as often. I've dealt with it so long that I don't think that it's really keeping me from playing the game. It just ruins my experience while I am playing. And as a matter of fact, to kind of tie into what I said earlier, the post-launch support for Modern Warfare 3 has been absolutely amazing, offering several new maps and weapons. The overall content offering is massive. There's been several, fan favorite adjustments and updates that have really made the game better. But recently, I just haven't wanted to play it despite all of this. And I've come to realize it's the same live service model that is subsequently making me not want to play while delivering all of that great content. You see, the game is built around a very FOMO, or fear of missing out approach, that works to make you feel like you have to play or else you will lose out forever on a lot of content. And that manipulative tactic has actually killed my urge to play COD recently. So today we'll break down what exactly FOMO tactics are and how they're implemented in COD and why exactly it's driving me away from playing what would otherwise be a very fun game for me. So if you enjoy content like this, make sure to leave a like. It helps others find the channel. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you are subscribed. And finally, if you would like to support the channel monetarily and contribute to my funds there, make sure to hit the join button below. You get a bunch of cool and unique perks at the various subscription tiers. So, I always appreciate that. And I appreciate any support that you guys give throughout these videos. So with that all out of the way, let's dive right into it. So to start out, before we get too deep here, what exactly is FOMO, right? Or fear of missing out? Well, basically, it's something that takes advantage of or plays off of the human's desire to just not want to miss out on any limited time or limited opportunity event or item for fear of maybe regretting it later, regretting that you didn't go through with it or partake in it. I basically liken it to that kind of feeling of sadness you get when all of your friends are out having fun without you, or maybe that feeling you get when you know you're missing out on a big sale, say like Black Friday or something like that, right? That kind of deep regret or worry or anxiety that you have that you're missing out on something that you really should be doing or you really should be taking advantage of. And devs utilize this human emotion to force you into feeling like you have to play their game or else, right? You might regret it later. You'll miss out on something that everybody else has if you don't play their game right now and play their game for long periods of time. Limited time events, including XP weekends and stuff, battle passes that expire and are locked away forever, and forced obsolescence, like phasing out certain stuff for no other reason other than to make players play during a certain time in order to get it. Those are all ways that, the industry at large is utilizing this emotion or this, kind of fear that humans have. And these tactics do admittedly drive key metrics for games and force players to play the game much longer or at least more often than they otherwise would without them. And these tactics have also been utilized in storefronts where maybe skins or DLC are rotated out of storefronts, making you feel like you have to buy something right now because it may go away forever. Now, obviously, this isn't something new. Video game and the video gaming industry didn't invent this, right? capitalism and, and stores and everything like that have been using this for centuries. And it's not always a bad thing, but it feels like it's really creeping up and a lot more prevalent lately in the gaming scene and specifically Call of Duty. So that's why it's really started to dig into me and why I wanted to talk about it today. So now that we know what FOMO is, what is fear of missing out, let's talk about how COD specifically utilizes that fear or that emotion to get you to play more often. Now, the first thing, and they've been doing this admittedly since the whole way back in COD 4, is double XP weekends. Now, I just want to preface and say these are typically good things. I do not dislike double XP weekends. As a matter of fact, I love them, right? And everybody loves sitting down for a weekend, getting that double XP, seeing those levels go up, things like that. It's fun and it's a fairly innocent use of this whole fear tactics, so it's not one that I really hate or anything. However, it does still invoke that fear of missing out to make you want to play the game for that weekend. Otherwise later on you're going to say, oh, I'm going to miss out on all those levels, or if I had just played last weekend, I could have saved so much time. I'd already be second prestige or anything like that, right? And while it's on a micro scale, it is still very much so utilizing that fear that is kind of innate to all humans. And I got to be honest, it did cause me, at least in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, the recent Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, it caused me to mindlessly grind for several weekends during XP weekends on Shipment or other small maps like that, just to level up weapons and stuff like that. Not because it was fun or not because I really wanted to sit down and play COD, but because I wanted mastery camo. And I knew that if I wanted that, it would be the most efficient if I would sit down and play these double XP weekends. I was playing the game just strictly out of necessity or fear of missing out on all that XP, not to enjoy myself or have fun playing a video game. And the next way the COD utilizes this emotion is battle passes, which again is kind of an industry-wide thing now, right? That kind of started with Fortnite. Well, at least Fortnite did it the most mainstream, the most successfully. So now everyone's trying to kind of buy into that success. And I think it is the biggest offender of this fear of missing out that COD employs today. Basically, once the season is over, you can never work to unlock any of the content from that battle pass of the previous season. This kind of incentivizes you to play until the entire battle pass is unlocked, all 100 tiers, especially if you paid the $10 for premium, or worse off, the $30 for the Black Cell Pass. So if you don't play that 80 to 100 hours that it takes to unlock everything, you're quite literally losing out on money that you've spent, as you lose the rewards that you had paid for that you just never got around to playing enough to unlock. Now, I gotta say, this is an absolutely terrible and manipulative and predatory system, and arguably should be changed. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of surprised that no one has sued for the money they lost by paying $10, and maybe they got busy or something came up, maybe they lost a loved one, something prevented them from playing during that specific season, and suddenly that $10 or $30 that they paid only gave them, a couple of items instead of the over 100 or 150 items that are usually promised in these type of things. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if there have been lawsuits out there that I just haven't seen, or if there's lawsuits that will come of it in the future and that maybe cause some of these devs to roll this back and implement a more customer friendly battle pass system, like some games already have that we'll talk about now. For example, Halo. Now, I'm not sure if this was the Master Chief Collection or if Infinite does this currently. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't played Infinite really since the first month of launch, and I never really got around to playing Master Chief Collection multiplayer. I only played through the campaigns. But I did read about online as those games were coming out that they did have a system in place at one point or another wherein you could kind of change what battle pass or previous battle pass you wanted to pipe your XP into, essentially. So you could always unlock something from all of the previous battle passes. You just basically selected which one you wanted to work towards currently. So, for example, here for COD, if we want to tailor this to COD, if they were to implement a similar system, basically, even though we're in season 5, if there was a bunch of skins or something that you really wanted way back in season 2, but you didn't get a chance to play because you were busy with school or something, you can go back and instead try to grind out season 2, and then later on jump on to season 3 and 4 and 5, and eventually unlocking everything that came to all 6 seasons of battle passes. However, they don't do that right now, and they kind of cut you off, which means there's never that feeling that, oh, I can get to it later. No, you have to play this right now or you're going to miss out. And the COD devs intentionally and kind of sadistically know that you're going to think that and intentionally put that into the game. And it makes you feel like the only point to playing the game is to grind that battle pass. As above with the double XP weekends, like I was saying, there's been several times when I only played the game to get the battle pass levels and not to actually enjoy the game. Not hopping on to, oh, I want to play COD, I want to see what kind of kill streak I can get today, or I want to see, what my KDR, if I can get my KDR up. No, you just get on because you say, oh, God, this season's going to end in 2 weeks and I haven't finished the battle pass. Stuff like that. And that's not thoughts you should be having when you get into the game, right? Because it also simultaneously almost makes it feel like it's not worth playing the game because you're just going to lose a bunch of progress in a few days or weeks anyways. I know that when I'm hopping in towards the end of the season, it almost feels like, oh, what's the point? This battle pass is going to be gone in 3 days anyways. Why should I even bother trying to grind the game out to get any of those rewards? So that is physically taking me out once again. Instead of saying, oh, I want to play Call of Duty for the sake of playing Call of Duty, I'm telling myself, no, it's not worth playing because you cannot accomplish these tasks, which is just crazy, and it's not something we've ever had to deal with in the past. And as stated before, it's killing my urge to play the game now. And it's honestly one of the biggest reasons why I feel disenfranchised with the entire series. And, I'm starting to fall out of form and not love it as much as I may have in the past. The next tactic that COD devs utilize to get you, fearing missing out on stuff is limited time events and, the weekly challenges and stuff like that they've employed in Modern Warfare 3. Typically, they offer rewards and cosmetics only for players that play or complete certain challenges during a certain time frame, be it a holiday or just a specific week, that they pick out of the year. Now, this does admittedly give a sense of accomplishment and, oh, I'm unique for having this specific item because it means that I played during this, and give you kind of a trophy case-like feeling. But it also makes those who didn't or couldn't play during those events kind of a bad feeling, and that really activates that fear of missing out, and possibly even ruins the experience if they were not able to get in on that and enjoy that period of time as well. And to make matters worse, sometimes the only way to unlock certain things is through these limited time events, which again, not everyone can play, not everyone wants to play, right? Maybe you had a new game coming out and you really want to play that. You don't necessarily always want to play COD just because there's a limited time event going on. And, I will say to their credit, there's often times where you can get any of the actual game-changing stuff like attachments or weapons or anything like that from just normal basic challenges that they implement later, like get 15 slide kills with a weapon to unlock an assault rifle that was in the battle pass last year, or, whatever. So I will say that they've done a pretty good job on that, but by and large, this is still a pretty predatory tactic. And finally, the last thing that they've really been introducing in the past, 3 or 4 years there is weekly and daily challenges, which again is an industry-wide trend. It kind of stemmed from mobile games. I think it was kind of born there and then pushed over really as a means to get people logging in every day. And it's strictly to boost engagement metrics. Yes, I know there is, some fun and some progression that they offer. It's not all bad, but let's be honest, it's mostly to boost engagement metrics and hit that fear of missing out. It gives a sense of something easy to accomplish that keep you playing, again, boosting those metrics. And they often feed into current events or the battle pass that further fuel that, well, I'm only going to hop on today to get my dailies done and leave. Again, this isn't COD specific, but COD uses it a lot. To give a brief story, just a short story time here. One of the worst experiences I've had with these daily, weekly challenges or battle pass systems was back in Black Ops 4. So I remember it was a weekend. I was working on, I think, one of the first battle passes because Black Ops 4 was one of the first games that gave you battle passes. And I remember I was playing at night, and I had some plans with some friends and a girl I was dating at the time later in the day. So as I was planning out my day, when I was going to hit the gym, when I was going to do this, I caught myself saying, if I set my alarm an hour early, I can get up and I can get my daily wins needed to get me those extra battle pass tiers. That way I can do that, basically get my chores done in Call of Duty before I worried about any of the other super fun and exciting things I had to do throughout the day. And I remember there was like a switch that flipped in my brain. The moment that I had kind of that inner monologue and started planning out my daily challenges in COD as though they were chores, like, sweeping the floors or doing the dishes, something that I needed to do, possibly losing sleep in order to do before I went about my day. It really sobered me up to this whole idea. And I remember that being just an absolute, like, eye-opening moment. And I specifically made a point to set my alarm even later so that I could not force myself to do that. And that's kind of when I pulled my foot off the gas with Black Ops 4. I do remember I finished that kind of battle pass or that season's battle pass, whatever. But after that, I never took it as seriously. And I find myself still to this day kind of having that same mentality. And it's a very kind of sobering thought that you would treat a video game much like a job, right? and we'll talk about that more in a second, but I just wanted to tell that story because it's something that I think a lot of people can relate to. And definitely a lot of my friends have said they've noticed themselves thinking or doing similar things to that. And it's really not healthy. And I think it really kills a lot of the game for a lot of people. So now that we've kind of talked about how COD implements it, you might be asking yourself, okay, well, what's so bad about this? Or why is this making you not want to play the game? And I do have to start out by saying, to be completely fair and completely objective with this whole, critique and analysis, COD has always, to a certain extent, had some progression specifically entered in to keep you playing. But it was always balanced and it was always added strictly to kind of add to the fun or enjoyment of the game. It incentivized or nudged you to want to keep playing or to play at all, but it never overshadowed the gameplay, right? It was just a carrot to chase while you were playing the game. You got on the game to play the game, but then there was like little cookie crumbs that you could follow that kind of entice you to keep playing and enhance your enjoyment of it, right? These systems were implemented in a much lower key way and a much more consumer friendly way that just was only there to enhance your experience, not overshadow or negatively impact your experience, right? You enjoyed playing the game, stuff like that, and then everything else was just on the side. They were perks. And all of the above systems that we've talked about so far, including my, my whole story that I gave with Black Ops 4, it makes the games almost feel like a job. You can start drawing parallels between the thoughts you have going to work in the morning or, having to wake up for work the next day with playing Call of Duty or really any games that employ these tactics in a really weaponized way. Right, you don't go to your job for fun. Well, at least most people don't. Yes, I know some people really, really enjoy their jobs, and I'm happy for them. But even those of us that kind of enjoy their jobs or don't hate their jobs, I still don't do it for fun, right? I have a normal 9 to 5 job, and I definitely enjoy it. I like where I work, but I do not go to that job for fun. It is still not fun for me. I only go for the rewards that I get from going there. In this case, a paycheck. You force yourself to go, not because it's fun or something that you look forward to, but because there's a means to an end. There's rewards at the end of the path that you need. In the case of a job, a paycheck. In the case of COD, battle pass XP or overall XP or gun XP or whatever you're striving for in COD. So you end up treating COD like a chore or a job, right? Like I was saying with Black Ops 4, I didn't set an alarm early to get up and play Black Ops 4 because I loved Black Ops 4 and I was just so overjoyed to play. No, I was setting the alarm because I felt like I almost had to go to work and get my daily wins in, because I think back then it was like get 3 wins. And I started to draw parallels between that and going to a job, right? I don't set my alarm at 6:15 in the morning every day to go to work just for fun and enjoyment because I so look forward to work. No, I do it because there's a means to an end, and COD is starting to become the exact same way. Any enjoyment that I do have with the various other mechanics and how fun the game is at its core are completely overshadowed by these aggressive FOMO tactics. I can't even play the game I want, or sorry, play the game the way I want anymore because I feel like if I'm not being the most efficient as possible at all times, then I'll miss out. I constantly feel like I can't have fun or I can't enjoy myself because I might be missing out on things if I don't do things in the right order and or in the correct way and stuff like that. For example, maybe not using guns that I've mastered and I really enjoy using because guess what? I could be using a gun that I haven't max leveled yet and really make the most efficient use of my time. Or, playing maybe a mode that gives a little more XP because guess what? I haven't finished the battle pass yet and I need that XP to finish the battle pass. So it makes more sense to play the most efficient XP route possible, shipment, rather than just enjoying the game at all. And I used to be able to boot up the game and play COD just to play COD. Right? We talked about this a couple times throughout the video so far, but I remember booting up like the old Modern Warfare 2 or COD 4 and just because I wanted to play COD. Right? I didn't care about mastery camo or battle passes, well, because there was no battle passes, or any of those other things. I played COD, and then, it was also nice to level up or get to a new prestige. There were secondary goals that kept me playing, but at the end of the day, I put my butt in that seat to play COD, and for no other reason. Getting kills or good games or high KDRs were first. Camos or levels or anything like that kind of fell to a far distant second in my mind, and I still treated it as a fun experience as opposed to a chore or, at worst points, a job. So, in kind of conclusion, FOMO tactics have admittedly added a lot of playability or sense of progression throughout the recent CODs. And there's more things to do nowadays in COD, for example, Modern Warfare 3, than there ever has been. There's always something to unlock or strive for, and so many more things to do, from an objective standpoint than the old games. You put something like Modern Warfare 3 up against COD 4, and it's like night and day in terms of stuff to do. However, with so many more reasons to play the game or so many more carrots being dangled on the sticks, the actual gameplay and the fun therein of the gameplay loop of COD is completely lost. Progression was sort of bare bones back in the day and, did not take over the entire experience. And to me, that kind of has taken a lot of the fun or anticipation out of the COD experience and disincentivized me to play it. COD doesn't feel like a semi-competitive Twitch shooter to play anymore. It's an XP grind or a job or a chore. And especially with some of the crazy things that they've instituted lately, it almost does feel like a full-blown part-time job, which I do have a script currently in the works for a video that goes into detail of gaming nowadays with live service model feels like a second job, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but just know we will be talking about that at length in a new video coming up. Now, I do want to say that some people may not be affected by this whole tactic as much, right? If you were to ask 10 of your friends, about FOMO in general, whether it be applied to real life things, like I said, like knowing your friends are out having fun without you or a Black Friday sale that you're missing out on, everyone's going to react to it differently. So some people might not even, care about any of this. There's still probably millions of people that get on COD every day. They don't care about the battle pass. They could care less about a mastery camo. They get on to still play that core Call of Duty. And I'm super happy for those people. But I feel like COD has weaponized all these various, gameplay mechanics and game systems specifically because they know the vast majority of people will care and they will start to treat it like a job or a chore that, the mandatory time played every day or every week, which obviously is very good for the devs and very good for profits and stuff like that. And I feel like as I get older, my adult brain kind of even falls even harder for this, right? With every passing year, these type of tactics work better and better on me than ever, right? Maybe when I was a kid, I just kind of mindlessly played a lot of games and my brain didn't really worry about that. But gaming as a whole lately, I just feel like I find myself telling myself that I have to be productive 24/7 while I'm playing the games, or else I'm just wasting time. If I'm not playing a game that I can kind of reach out and grab a sense of progression or a sense of accomplishment from the time that I've invested in it, then it's not worth it. Or if I'm not doing it as efficiently as I could, I'm just out here wasting time. And that kind of sucks, but I think that comes with getting older and becoming more career oriented, or you become more mature and you want to accomplish things. You don't just want to waste your time on this earth, with no means to an end. So I feel like every year it gets worse, and these kind of tactics work even better on me. And game companies are taking advantage of this industry wide, right? They know that people like me feel this way, and they know that I'm probably in a vast majority, as I'm sure a lot of you watching this video feel the same way. And they're taking advantage of that because they know you're going to play their game more, because otherwise your brain's going to yell at you that you're missing out, or you should have done something in the past, and that you're going to regret it later. So in summary, I'm just find myself no longer really enjoying COD for being COD like I used to in the past. I just find myself merely grinding for rewards or battle passes, or to make things quote unquote worth it. And things are just constantly arbitrarily taken away from me for no other reason than to make me feel that way and to make me play more out of fear of losing all of those said rewards. So now I've talked for about 25 minutes on this subject. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Let me know in the comments section below your thoughts on this whole industry-wide craze of adopting all of the FOMO tactics, and how that kind of fear of missing out has impacted your gaming experience personally. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this type of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you would like to hear more gaming videos and commentaries like this. And until the next time, guys, I'll see you later.